be reacting to the Vrchat sleeping problem by Vrchat is here. Let's get into it. So let's get into it. And this time I will not be like, you know, with a background. So
yeah, we're back again, aren't we? Vrchat.
Vrchat.
What
Lovely
episode are we
place.
on of this now? Like the Empire Strikes Back? I have indeed done a
Oh.
lot of Vrchat videos, but this was a video I was gonna do till I
Maybe-
got sidetracked
Maybe I should watch more of his Vrchat videos because Vrchat is pretty fun. Indeed.
with another video that came my way, a significantly more deplorable one.
What do you
FFI
mean
made
by
an
that?
update video on that situation, by the way. But with 3,000
Predator,
hours in this game,
3,572 almost. I don't have that much. I have less. Editor, throw it in. Oh yeah. Oh, no. Poor
for
boy.
the 10th time I've used this bit, I'm not doing it again.
Come on, do it.
Veteran tours and witnessing the worst of war zones the game has
Wait,
to
what?
offer, like the front lines of Saigon, that would induce shell shock on
What
the
do you
most
mean front line?
ordinary people, like the Black Cat and God forbid H Party. The
Black Cat, I remember Black Cat. I usually gone there when I was, you know, just going around or just being, you know, in the background because I don't really like to interact that much with people. But hey, I do interact with them when I play games.
latter one, do not Google. Do not visit it. You will thank me. But
I will
basically,
check it
am
out
more than
later. Thank you very much, Mr. What is it? Looks like a hedgehog or maybe a bird.
to speak on this topic more than anyone you know. I earned my stripes, but most of my
Wait,
hours
what?
in this
What
speak
was
on this
it?
topic more than anyone you know. I earned
We actually good name veteran trusted user r/anime medal of perseverance awarded to user Pechos Majestic Prince.
my stripes, but most of my
Oh,
hours
got
in this
knuckle.
game were during COVID. That's my only excuse.
Same.
Before
Honestly, same. Like I made my money, got my VR, played Vrchat.
I get into the topic of today's
course,
video,
female
I need
models.
to rearrange my foreskin. 1 second.
What do you mean? Is he coming in with Vrchat model? Holy moly macaroni!
Yes, the production quality of these videos have gone up slightly.
Damn.
I did try to commission an avatar for this video, but there is no way I'm paying
doing as a-
500 plus bucks for a bed PNG to be placed on a free male model asset. And considering I did most of the design work,
Okay.
that took me a whole hour to do, by the way, I would have definitely won the
Okay.
kindergarten art competition.
Honestly, I think this one like fits him like the best. Honestly, I feel.
So
like
we're
it.
going with this avatar today. No, I'm not an e-boy, but you can add it
Yes, you are. I believe he is a e-boy. He definitely is.
to a list of incorrect
Fanboy.
slurs levied
A
against me to
video
this
manager.
day.
Sorry,
It was
British.
between this, a Rigby avatar, Shinji, Lelouch from the best anime ever made, or a bird avatar that's mouth doesn't even move.
I don't know. Like the bed could work, honestly, but I think this e-boy one looks better. Also, I do I really enjoy using like the fanboy model that I found there. Because I usually used to use a small little girl one, or like she was just short, like that's, and it was ambiguous if it's a girl or a boy. I just enjoy it because it's small, and well, I don't like being, you know, tall.
I did this all for you, by the way, you ungrateful fuck. But anyway, believe it or
I'm
not,
grateful.
there are many sides to Vrchat.
Service
Admittedly, some
RP
I have covered in the
I
past,
don't
but
do-
believe it or not, this game is still
Live?
nowhere near dead. It's 10 years fucking old, by the way. It's got
Damn.
loyal players on the
Right.
same level as people from the
Oh,
original
yeah.
CS. Till CS2
Wait,
came out.
Do I miss
that's on Pixel.
CSGO already? Maybe.
Even though
That's
I
on
know
Pixel.
Vrchat has a terrible
I
reputation,
on. I didn't want it to stop here. I wanted to say that I see yeah, I see one pixel like in my recommended like on shorts. Usually him unboxing or looking at knives.
Maybe.
Even though I know Vrchat has a terrible reputation, nowadays
What
you
the
mostly
hell?
see the worst of this game.
Pyro?
Holy fuck.
Mostly see
Was that
the
Pyro?
worst
That's Pyro. That's Pyro Cynic. Oh boy.
of this game.
Oh, let me just stop for a second. I know this clip is crazy. Like, imagine it happening to you. If it happened to me, oh boy, I would, you know, not, not survive. But hey, I don't live with mother. I live with my father. Even worse.
Holy fuck.
Me?
Yes, but rules are rules.
Mom? I'm. Wait, don't unplug the internet. Wait, please, don't unplug the internet.
But I'm probably overdosing
Well, she did unplug the internet, as you can see. I saw like how he used. From what I can see, that he definitely used a green screen mod on the mobile and like just come out. So he edited it that it come out of it
on
behind that.
copium here when I
Nice.
say those people only account for less than 10% of the whole player base, and most belong in
Oh, yeah, no,
a
no,
padded cell. I'm talking about the public lobbies, public shows of
What the
affection
hell?
to a disappointment.
Also, the main I wanted to just say and interject here. The only reason why I know about Vrchat is because of James Key and because of his YouTube videos about Vrchat. Great videos.
degree.
Your little pussy belongs to me,
Excuse me.
and you're gonna learn to do what I
Bios longer than Luke 642 showing off mental disorders like
Wait, what was it? That
learn to do what I
bios
my name is Blank. I like having new pets. I'm 21 years old, and this is my story. I love making people happy, stepping on them, calling them names, making them bark. You get the idea. I'm okay with any king or anything. Just don't hurt anyone. I have a boyfriend, but I'm sexually polyamorous. So head on in my DMs and get yourself a collar and leash, and most of all, a new master. I would say it like this. That's cheating. That's cheating. Anyway,
longer than Luke 642 showing off
during the battle of the
mental
spies.
disorders like
I'm yapper with friends. I have lots of disorders. There's my. I don't know.
badges of honor, and I don't know
Alters,
why
oh
this
boy.
is only for VRChat, but a lot of people within VRChat apparently have the ID. I don't know why. I thought it was like a rare drop. But despite all of this, the Steam charts of this game show that the game is still growing even to this day. Albeit a bit slow, but it's doing better than Titanfall 2 that released around the same time. Your game's never coming back, EA completely
No.
fucked it. But obviously this
never
doesn't
played it,
include
no.
other platforms like the Quest, predominantly owned by children,
That's
which I
bad.
still think to this day was a
That's the worst.
cardinal mistake.
Honestly, that's definitely the worst decision to give access to children to VRChat. That's something that's 16, 18, 17 plus, because I said it in my last video. There were so many N-words and naked models that I saw when I was not streaming. That was. Ugh.
A worse mistake than that one video involving someone's puckered anus in a jar.
No! No!
But you've now got so many different
I didn't
parts
see it, but
and
no.
communities to this game, like the raving and dancing scene. Fairies.
Oh.
Don't ask them a question about computing, they will not shut the f up. You've got role
Oh yeah, the classic. Usually fanboys and furries are the IT people. Yeah.
players, drinking,
I don't
the
know, like-
losers also known as mirror dwellers, the
Drinking.
avatar creators and world creators who
Honestly, like, I'm sorry, I will go back, but usually the mirror dwellers, like, some are like egoistical and just like to see themselves in the mirror and stuff, like like to look at themselves. You could say that that's kinda me with this female model by Suika, because I enjoy it. But they some of them are at the mirror to look at the model and model on the other screen. Some work on the models, some modeling, yeah. so they need to, want to see the reference and stuff.
Losers, also known as mirror dwellers. The avatar creators
Yeah,
and
avatar
world
creators.
creators who are making absolute bank in this
Damn.
game and are probably not paying taxes. Hey, I'm just saying, apparently if you report them to the IRS, you get a cut of that money. The people that make
No.
content on this game, the small amount of people that only get
Murder mystery, my favorite. I love that, but oh boy, some people that you can find there. It's pain. Also, I met someone there when I was by myself. Of course, on streaming, you just playing for myself. But I met someone that somehow, with an avatar, managed to respawn people. Like, you sit on some kind of rod and they put you back into the map. Was interesting.
on for the mini games and
Oh.
trolling, which it's been known for recently.
Oh,
Fairly
yeah.
sensitive.
What, that she was saying she was allergic to virtual tomatoes?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I just saw that clip on Twitter before this. I'm allergic to tomatoes and starts fake vomiting when it hits her. Yes, I saw this one.
Music and concerts. You've got dating and gooning
Aye.
appearing on the platform. There's even groups for birth now,
Excuse
but we've
me?
spoken
What?
enough about that on this channel. And you've
Excuse
got
me, what?
platform. There's even groups for birth now, but we've spoken enough about that on this channel. And you've got the people that just get on to speak to
Excuse me.
people. Probably because their AoE effect inhibits them from doing it IRL. But that is
I
VR
just
chat
don't like to
nowadays,
talk
and
with
it's
people
still growing. But there's one
IRL.
activity and community I wanted to speak about today that has quite possibly been around since the start of the game. And it's something that has worlds specifically designed around it and for it. There's still public lobbies where you
Yeah.
can find people huddled in groups doing it, and it's something that is viewed as fairly normal within the community, but people outside the VR chat sphere would probably be somewhat stunlocked upon hearing it exists. And that is VR chat sleeping. Sleeping is something that is natural for us all, and we all definitely require it to some capacity,
Yeah.
unless you want to be as coherent as XQC.
Took a lot of damage. I dropped them by accident.
Honestly, I feel that because when I speak, my problem is that I stutter and sometimes sound like that. Also, I want to say I did try sleeping in VR. Was pretty nice.
Idiot.
Was pretty nice.
Yo, can you speak English?
Or if you want to look like something straight out of a failed Russian sleep experiment,
That
but
was
we
one
all
god.
need sleep, just some of us do it in different ways. Some need specific lighting, some sleep in a certain posture or position.
I usually sleep on like side stomach, and I usually like have video playing in the background to fall asleep to, like, I just put some YouTube video that I enjoy or I want to watch and just clock out. So it's also getting interesting whenever I try to go to sleep. I let out the cats because they try to sleep on me too. So yeah.
Some even a specific routine or they can't sleep. But to those of you
Oh.
that fall asleep to anime female ASMR, to give yourself that false fallacy that is
That's not
someone
me.
loving you in order to lull yourself to the
That's not me. I don't need it. I have my girlfriend. That's all I need.
dream world, you cannot make fun of the people I'm about to describe. You are on the same level. And
I'm
don't
not.
even get me started on the dick warming community.
Excuse me.
You are on the same level. And don't even get me started on the dick warming community.
Oh, no,
You
no,
are
no.
sleeping or basically a
I'm skipping
graphical
that.
radiator on your eyes, which wearing for a short amount of time anyways would give you something similar to a sunbed.
Like, yeah, I can imagine that. Like, definitely, it's heavy around the face. Also, it gets kind of annoying for me when, as I said, I sleep usually, on the side and side stomach, so I have my face buried in the pillow. It's hard. Also, having the headphones around my head. Maybe I should start using Vrchat to the, to the headset and like put them in, or wireless.
And that looks like the VR has
Earbuds.
left its own cock print on you. And if
Oh.
you look at the VR screen for long enough, you could probably count the monitor lines impressed on your eyes for quite a bit after using the headset. So how can you sleep in VR chat? Why would you want to sleep in VR chat?
feels
What are
nice.
the many problems and benefits, if any, of doing this? And have I myself tried it?
He definitely did. He definitely did. I believe that.
So for some
Oh,
of you that
boy.
are experienced
Good
with
guy.
sleeping in VR chat, I know you're watching, you little e-couple having pixel sleeping losers.
Hey, if my girlfriend wasn't getting sick from it, that could be me and her. But unfortunately, she's 7 hours ahead of me, or she's ahead of me, and she gets sick from 3D games. So yeah.
But you may recognize this music. If not, this is the music for the world Rest and Sleep,
Oh,
a world that
sorry.
has been around for my knowledge
I
as
was there.
early as
I tried
2019,
it.
maybe earlier. But many remember this iteration, the OG one, and by the name of it you can probably tell what people are doing in this world. If not, your head might be as thick as a Toyota
Corolla.
Corolla. People for years now have come to worlds like this for sleeping, even to this day. This world wasn't the first and it isn't the last, but it's quite possibly the
Sorry, I will go back out of it. I remember when I first slept in VR, it was on some train. It was interesting, honestly, like falling asleep to the sound of the rails and stuff.
And to this day, this world wasn't the first and it isn't the
That's
last,
interesting indeed.
but it's quite possibly the most known. I actually remember coming to this world years ago and
Why is that
watching people mess with the
I don't
people
know.
asleep.
I'm blocking every single.
I won't do. That's
They would always put that one turkey video on the video player full blast to wake them up.
Alright, door's open.
oh, this one. Well,
Ah, good times. People come here to sleep. In fact, I'm here right now looking at these idiots sleeping in the virtual world.
You're
I am
not.
totally here right now.
Yep, I can feel that. I can feel that. Brrr. Unfortunately, I don't feel exactly that because I do not have full body. I do not have full body tracking, so yeah, I do not feel that.
Yes, this is a public instance, anyone can join, and some of these people are fully asleep. Now, it would be funny to play something like a raid siren and flashing lights to test the percentage of people that have acute epilepsy, but that actually used to be a prominent problem and something we'll talk about later. But yes, these people joined a public world just to fall asleep. Some are even cuddling. Don't worry, they're both going to find out eventually they're both guys. But why do they do this? Why do they come to a world, or even worse, a public world, to sleep where people can quite easily disturb them and point and laugh at their chronic problems? Well, one reason I found when I looked around was the
I know
term
that-
social
that-
sleeping.
I know
It's
her.
apparently common for animals to do this, and it's been hypothesized we do it as well and gain all the same benefits. Because apparently in our evolution, even though we've progressed through the tech tree, we still hold some traits.
Excuse me,
Because apparently in our evolution, even though we've progressed through
he's showing War Thunder. That's wait, is that War Thunder or World of Tanks? I think that's War Thunder. But they are tanks, right? But something gives me the idea that maybe it's War
through
Thunder.
the tech tree, we
It's
still
a World
hold
of
some
Tanks.
traits from when we were cavemen.
What
No,
the-
that is not an excuse for you to use when explaining to your parents why the body pillow for your favourite
Oh, hey, Doggy
VTuber
Bear.
can stand up on its own and smells like cottage cheese.
That's disgusting. That's disgusting. I do have a body pillow, but mostly the only one that sleeps on it is my cat or cats. One definitely likes going on it and then falling asleep there.
Cheese. But there was one peer-reviewed study
Resolution
I
for
found that
vulnerable
mentions
to
the
drink sleep.
social sleeping hypothesis. Yep, this is straight nerd shit. Keep in mind, this is a hypothesis. The VR chat players aren't out the boiling water yet. But it says social sleep is something that
Nice.
especially our ancestors benefited from an increase in security and sleep quality. So you basically get the buff of
Oh,
comfortability and sleep quality when sleeping with a person or a group. But the context for
It
this
is
is
comfy.
doing it in person. Why do it in VR chat? Well, some people online, when speaking about sleeping in VR chat, speak about
Yeah.
these same benefits. They like sleeping in the virtual world with people they possibly don't even know. But
Also, some do have phantom sense. Like apparently the phantom sense that they can feel it. Also, it would be much funnier if you put on the vest, the kinetic vest or whatever it is, that makes you feel it. If I decide to do more of Vrchat, which I want to do, I want to get it one day. Definitely one day. I definitely need to get. First, what I want for a long time is to get, full body tracking, because why not? But it's so expensive. That sucks. But anyway, it's, let's get back to it.
Because it makes them feel more comfortable and less alone.
Comfy.
The Vrchat players are never escaping the allegations with this one.
Oh, yeah. I know. Allegations. Yes, I do use female model there. No, I do not. I do now not. I do use either my, the V-Ride model that existed, and also there are some reactions with it, and the fanboy model that I found by some person, I don't remember now who, but it's great. It's fanboy Huta. I love that model.
But if you find sleeping in Vrchat in a puddle of people improved...
Wait, are they stuck on each other like like a staircase?
through sleep, power to you. I just don't understand the people on desktop without a VR doing
Oh
it.
boy, the
At that
bitrate.
point, just go back to the ASMR. But there are incentives to sleeping in Vrchat. Once again, you have worlds specifically made for sleeping in VR, and each have their own experience to help you sleep. You can sleep in a deep forest with a waterfall with the birds chirping. You can sleep
That's
in the
nice.
void of space watching the stars go by.
Holy shit! Wait, is not the spaceship from Star Wars? That looks like the God damn it. It's not. It looks like a Republic one.
You can sleep on top of water
Not
listening to the
this-
gentle waves or
No, wait. No, I think that's CSI. Or however it's called, the Clankas one.
space watching the
I think
stars
that's
go by.
country one.
You can sleep on top of water listening to the gentle waves or even under the water
Separatists,
itself.
yeah.
Or maybe you're
Oh.
like me and personally like the pitter-patter of rain, which is the average UK weather to help lull you to sleep. They
Oh,
have
okay.
a world for that as well. Or maybe
Oh,
you're a
nice.
psychopath that wants to sleep in Mr. Brightside, but you're crying in a bathroom at a party because your crush brought a date. If you like to be cooked, I guess. But you can even find YouTube videos showing
Okay.
you the best worlds to fall asleep in. Some people
Oh,
just want to
nice.
sleep in different atmospheres, and they come to VR to do that. And once again, these
Let me pause it and go back. To elaborate on that, yeah, that's why I honestly even thought about sleeping in VR, because hey, I'm here in apartment building, but what if I put on the headset and just sleep somewhere else, in the mountains, in the forest, here, there, everywhere. That's a nice thing that I like about that.
some
at
people
least.
just want to sleep in different atmospheres, and they come to VR to do that. And once again, these worlds and game itself support the sleeping community. There are even unofficial Steam add-ons
some
like
in
Oyasumi VR, which makes it even easier to fall asleep in VR. By
Really?
doing things like automatic brightness and GPU power decreasing when it detects you are sleeping, and auto-accepting
Nice.
invites. Yeah, fuck that shit. Why
What?
the fuck would you want that? Knowing Vrchat, someone would wake up to someone else tenderizing their meat.
Well, let me look. Can I share it? No. I thought that he would put Luca kind of shit on there.
And of course, some people sleep in VR with their long-distance relationship
Yeah,
partners.
I-
Kind of like what they do
I
on
would do-
Discord.
I would do
It's
that.
the closest you're ever going to be with them, buddy. And make sure to mute.
Not really. I'm visit her last year. This year I'm playing on that too. But yeah, would definitely love that if you know.
yourself they don't want to listen to your sleep apnea. But while
Yeah.
sleeping in virtual reality is generally accepted in the VRChat community, it does come with a lot of problems.
Yo, look who fell asleep first. Prank him, John. You already know.
Yo!
So probably the biggest question and problem you can think of regarding this
Wait, problems. Oh no. someone can.
Is probably, is sleeping in VR actually good for you, and can you get some good quality sleep from it? Well, once again, would you think sleeping with a graphical radiator emitting copious
is
amounts
that?
of blue light, even with your eyes closed, would help you sleep? But if you don't know what blue light is, it usually comes from things like the sun, but can also be found in things like digital screens.
Monitors.
Like the thing you're looking at right now,
Yeah.
the headset people would be wearing in VR. It affects sleep because it fools your brain into thinking it's daytime, and it affects your body's release of things like melatonin. So
Oh.
basically, it makes it harder to sleep, harder to stay
Wait, does that mean that's why I'm having trouble sleeping? With, like falling asleep whenever I, in this go to bed around, midnight, 1 a.m. after a stream? Ah, that makes sense.
asleep and harder for your brain to fully turn off. But don't worry, I believe most of you already turned your brain off. It's usually recommended you stay away from blue light 2 hours before bed, but let's be honest, none of us do that.
Yeah.
I'm even guilty of it. But with VR, you are constantly being bukakied with blue light, which means
Goddamn.
sleeping is pretty
Goddamn.
hard. Looking at other videos of creators that have shared their experience with sleeping in VR chat and conducted their own experiments,
Oh, I know that
Twice
one.
and the virtual reality show, both had some trouble sleeping in VR, either due to the bulky headset or waking up occasionally.
Yeah.
But even I can corroborate these
Honestly, I did wake up a few times occasionally because of that. I don't know, just woke up, and somehow the cable was different than I had it before.
VR, either due to the bulky headset or
Yep.
waking up occasionally.
Mhm.
But even I can corroborate these claims because I've also slept in VR chat. Yes,
Not
before you write a
surprised.
comment with a range of derogatory terms and perhaps a racial slur customized for VR chat players, I have slept in VR chat.
No
But that was
surprise
during
there.
my heydays of the game, like 2020. Haven't done it since, and it was only like 2 times.
I don't trust him. I don't trust you, Bert.
One intentionally and unintentionally. But the first time I was in a private instance with people
What the hell is that? The one on the left there. Like I can see Shinji here. That's a repo. That's the repo bot turned into a female mod android.
I knew at an ungodly time because
Oh.
Europeans on this game suffer the most, and I probably had some chill
Tell me
music
about
in the
that.
background like Nuja Bez, and I
Tell me about it. I always like play at night usually.
fell asleep in a lobby, completely vulnerable. But I awoke 2 hours later, and everyone was gone. I was all alone in a cozy world. Nobody
Nice.
bothered to wake me. And thank God I was not hot miking, because that would have been a terrible time to realise I snore. I still to this day don't know if I do. But it was actually a
Same.
really good
I
sleep.
don't.
I felt pretty comfortable. But keep in mind, I was in a bed. Yeah, I used to play VR chat in my bed. Yeah, I'm a lazy bastard. Shut the fuck up.
I would
But in
do,
my
honestly.
dazed state, I went back to sleep and awoke 4 hours later to the fans of my PC hitting at least 10k RPM, like it was trying to load the average VTuber
Oh, hey,
size. The
it's
sun
Milky.
absolutely demolishing my eyes and a red imprint around my face where the headset was.
Yeah,
I promptly
same.
took the headset off, turned off my struggling PC, and it felt like I hadn't slept at all. Like it felt like I slept only an hour.
What I did, woke up, put the headset away, turn off the VR stuff, the bases, turn off the PC, crawl back into the bed, and fall asleep. Well, how do I say it? It was mostly because I was still a little tipsy.
I also had
Yeah.
a slight headache and felt like I had just been brutally beaten by something like
Oh, hey,
the
Dexter.
Penetrator from Saints Row. It was a
Penetrator,
terrible
oh,
sleep, but
mhm.
I was really comfortable. Except for the cement block that was on my head, known as the headset, it was quite the experience. Maybe it was
Yeah.
something to do with the environment, the gentle music in the world, or the ambience in the background. But I actually
I
really
love-
liked it, I just didn't like the after effects.
Honestly, I love sometimes listening. I laughed at least. I love listening to rain music. Unfortunately, when I accidentally put it on like 8 hours video, my mobile burns almost and doesn't charge because I put it on charger, have it near my head, and fall asleep.
The next time would be a lot more intentional, as a month later I was struggling to sleep. No matter what I did, I just couldn't sleep. It was probably down to something like insomnia, and this lasted for a few nights. I was barely
Holy.
sleeping. So remembering my
That's
previous
okay.
experience, I booted up my PC and
Oh,
VRChat,
that's-
picked the same world as last time, laid down, and it took about 10 minutes and I was out cold. And from personal experience, I can say sleeping in VR improves comfort at the cost of some quality of sleep and
Yeah.
possibly preventing your body from going into that deep sleep phase. I woke up multiple times throughout the night and probably didn't get my full night of REMs, but I fell asleep quicker for longer and was more comfortable. And probably due to the fatigue afterwards, my sleep went seemingly back to normal,
Oh,
and I
that's
could
good.
pass out almost instantaneously again.
Hey.
Without the VR headset, it was a
I'm
good
sorry.
way I could...
Is that Aniki? I think that looks like Aniki.
pass out almost instantaneously again. Without the VR headset, it was a good hard reset. Now, other people's experiences are probably very different. I don't know if you
Depends.
can get used to a high-powered torch in your face when you're sleeping, and I didn't test the
Maybe.
social sleeping
Maybe
thing
you-
because 100% I do not trust VR chat players with my unconscious VR corpse.
Yeah.
But my experience was a long time ago. The game and worlds have adjusted to accommodate for people that sleep in VR. And there's even tutorials and
This guy on
metas
sleep-
for
oh.
sleeping in VR now, so if I did it today,
Nice.
which I definitely won't, I enjoy my routine of listening to
I don't
streamers
trust you.
whilst I sleep, but I probably would have...
You know what's funny about that? You can still, in some words, put on a song and stuff. So you can still listen to your streamers. And it does work for streamers. It does. Because I remember that I once played my stream in some word where I fall off and got lost, and I could hear myself occasionally.
a very different experience. However, aside from sleep quality, what other problems could there be with sleeping in VR or VR chat? Well, if you're doing it in public worlds, aside from, you know, your body being unprotected, and VR chat having the reputation of gooners, which is totally
Yeah.
accurate, but otherwise you may have to deal with some nuisances, people that come into the world to purposely wake you up. As I said before, this has been a thing for years
Yeah.
on VR chat, probably
Honestly,
as long as VR
don't
sleeping
do
has
that.
existed. People that come into
Honestly, don't do that. That's assholeish.
these worlds just to troll and get your reaction, and I must admit, it's funny to see happen, but probably annoying to experience. Imagine hearing the Apple alarm blaring in your ear when
No!
you're trying to sleep would probably inspire
Sorry, no, don't do that. It's enough that I have to hear it every morning. When I go to work.
The Apple alarm blaring in your ear
Multiple
when you're trying to
times.
sleep would probably inspire some PTSD.
And I mean it multiple times because I'm the type of person that sets his alarm clock every 5 minutes.
But this problem still persists to this day.
So, sorry for again pausing. So it's basically 5 a.m., 5 a.m., 5:10 a.m., 5:15 a.m., 5:20 a.m., 5:25 a.m. before I wake up. Usually I wake up at 5:20 a.m. to, you know, do the basic stuff and go to work.
But interestingly enough, is easily countered nowadays in VR chat. Probably the easiest way to counter it is just going to a private world and
Yeah.
not sleeping in a public. But then those people who love
Oh.
sleeping next to their favourite anonymous cat gal, that is probably a blue-collar worker, can't get their usual
Yeah.
social sleeping hit. But that would be the best way to counter being trolled and having your ear canal burst.
Just have
But recently
friends
there
of
is
that, I
another
guess.
way with things like groups now on VR chat, which we spoke about before, regarding the many ERP groups there are. God help us. But there
Okay.
are some of these groups for sleeping, and with said groups they can have public group instances, which are
Oh.
very different from normal public instances.
How so?
First of all, group instances can be closed off to people only in the group, so those trolls can't join unless they are in that group or friends with someone in it. So you can sleep in relative peace
That's
with others
interesting.
that came to sleep as well. Also, even if it is a public group instance, compared to a normal VR chat lobby, where if somebody is being a nuisance and you want to get rid of them, you would have to vote to kick them, which most times doesn't usually work. Group
Yeah,
instances
I
usually
know.
have moderators that will just straight up get rid of people. And believe me, I looked into some of these sleeping group instances, and they are very strict. They have admins that even if they hear a peep of an audio clip, they are on you like round 6 dogs, and some have rules where you can't even speak in the lobby. And obviously I found out the hard way.
okay.
I've been banned from one of the group instances for hot miking in desktop. I didn't know my mic was on. But once again, even with all these new measures, it is still possible for people to troll those sleeping. But it's
Honestly, I'm always scared whenever I join instance that my mic is turned on because I always down some shit.
with all these new measures, it is still possible for people to troll those sleeping, but it's a lot better than what it used to be, and it's easier to find like-minded people who want to sleep in VR chat.
I would. What?
So that is VR chat sleeping. What is somewhat the benefits, the problems, and my
Dexter
own
Morgan.
experience with it. And you'll never see me in this fuckboy avatar again.
No!
I'm still not paying $500 for my own,
Please.
although it would be a good tax write-off. But I did severely underestimate how much it would be for my own avatar. I haven't got the same amount of wealth as some of these fairies that can commission these avatars. VR chat sleeping is something that may be viewed
Please
as
stay in
sort
this
of weird
model.
from the outside looking in, but it's something that is relatively normal within the VR
Please.
chat community
You emo boy.
itself. I mean, you even have people streaming their sleep sessions on other
Really?
platforms. But honestly, if you enjoy sleeping in VR chat and see none of the disadvantages, like feeling like a walking corpse,
Again,
then you keep
Dexter.
doing you. There's no
Good-
problem
good
with
series.
it. I just hope you don't Pavlov yourself to the point where you can only sleep in VR.
Oh,
and
boy.
I'm going to go overdose on my latest addiction, that is nasal sprays. But yeah,
Ooh.
that's all I had to say, and bye-bye.
Bye. But yeah, great video. Great video by Roti is here. Definitely give him follow, like, I'm subscribed. I could like, but I will like. It's great video. But yeah, from me, thank you for watching. Also, ignore that. Thank you for watching, and yeah, see you at another reaction. You can comment it down in the comments. What I like a recommendation, what I could react to, and also I would appreciate any like, please. Anyway, bye bye. See you YouTube later. Bye.